Because you mentioned that you guys are risky it all as well. Like, can you put a ballpark kind of figure on what a loss would mean, not just for Sam, but for you and No Limit as well?
It's the business that we're in the boxing promotion business, is that you live and die by your wins and losses, and to get to the point of where Sam is, a lot of investment goes in to get to that point. And it's not just in the cost of Sam. It's Sam's opponent. It's putting on the event for Sam. This is an event that costs over $1 million to put together, and everything.
George, there's, I guess, always critics and whatnot around, pay-per-view shows. And is Sam at that sort of pay-per-view level yet? You guys have had tremendous success building Tszyu. There was the same critics when he started. Is that how you see it? How far do you think Sam can go in, I guess, a pay-per-view model?
Yeah, look, absolutely. When you start out, you have to have critics. You go from being a free-to-view guy or an undercard guy to being the star of the show and leading a pay-per-view. There's always going to be critics to start off, and that was expected for Sam. And like you said, it's happened in the past before as well. But we got to a point where, Tim's a pay-per-view star. Nikita's a pay-per-view star. Nikita actually progressed a lot faster than we anticipated as well. And the same was for Sam. Sam got a really good result last time around, and for a guy who was doing his first pay-per-view, taking all the pressure on, and having the fight that he did, he actually got a really good result. And I think that's where he sits now going forward, is because not only because of the result that he got with the pay-per-view, but also because of the status that he's at the moment too. He's ready to fight for a world title. He's Mr. Mandatory still. And he's going to be a guy that we're going to keep watching in some really good fights when the results keep going his way.
George, obviously, the pressure's on. He needs to win to keep the fight. But is there also pressure in, I guess, the way he wins? Like, does it need to be not so much decisive, but does he need to make a statement, like a split decision? Is that good enough, or does he need to do something extra?
I think it's a good question. Personally, I feel that where he's at, the fight that he's taking would be seen as a keep busy, stay active type fight, but it's against a 25-0 guy with 15 knockouts. So any result, against that sort of caliber of opponent, is a good result. I think it's a good result and a good preparation for for what he wants to do in fighting the undisputed pound for pound king. That's where he wants to be. So a result at all against Worawut is a good result.
And I don't know if the discussions keep going on, but is there any sort of movement on when, where, and in a way, Goodman fight might happen?
No, not yet. No, there's no time and place locked in yet, but I really do look forward to sharing that with everyone when it rolls around. We've got a really hard fight to get through first on July 10. Inoue's obviously got his mandatory with the WBA, and then we'll be pushing heavily for our opportunity.
Obviously, the cancellation to the show next week. Do you think we'll see some of those fights put onto the July 10th card, or will that show be shifted altogether?
Yeah. Look, we're working on that at the moment, because obviously those guys have been preparing pretty hard to be in shape and ready to go for July 3. So there was a couple of really good fights on there too that we will be moving across to July 10. We're just finalising that with those teams at the moment. So that card is going to get even better. The July 10 card is going to get bigger and better, and we get to take some of those great fights from that one over to there. And the rest of the card, we'll look at filling out at a later date.
Mikhailovich on July 13th as well.
Sorry, what was the start of that one?
Mikhailovich is on July 13th. Just your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, look, he's the underdog. He's the underdog. That's how we do it. That's how we do it best is when our Australian and New Zealand guys travel over to the bright lights, the big shows, and we head over there as the underdog. And that's what Mikhailovich is. He's a heavy underdog. He's fighting a guy that nobody wants a bar of. Absolutely nobody wants a bar of him. And he's got a huge opportunity there. And Mikhailovich is a guy who loves a challenge, who will step up when given the opportunity. And this is the opportunity that he was presented with, and he really wanted it. I think that he's got a chance to really shake up the world, a bit like what we do. It's, we've seen so many great upsets over the years from Australia and New Zealand, and this is a huge opportunity to be the next one.
And Tszyu, any updates? The Virgil Ortiz fight fell through. Could we see Tim the back end of the year fighting in Australia, perhaps?
Tim will be in the ring as quick as he possibly can, as quick as he physically can. You know what he's like. He's filthy about the delay, and I think we all are. We all love to see Tim in the ring and fighting and doing Australia proud. And as soon as he's medically allowed to fight, we'll look to put in a fight on that date, whether it's here in Australia or on a card in the US or anywhere else. He'll definitely be back fighting this year at the earliest possible time, both for himself and for the rest of Australia. We need to see Tim Tszyu. It keeps us all pumped up in the boxing. So Tim in the ring, we're all happy.